So Donald Trump is suing Hillary Clinton, okay? And when I read this, I had to laugh. I am so serious because, like, at the end of the day, it's like so many things have happened during the time that, you know, Trump was in office to this point right now, and it just seems like he can't get himself together to continue with his life and his entrepreneurial adventures. And I'm just like, this is what we really doing when it's time when world parts of the world is at war, right? This is what we doing. This right here, like civil suits. Like, and oh, by the way, the reason why he is actually suing is because Donald Trump alleges that Hillary Clinton basically tarnished his image by saying that he was like, he had Russian ties, and these Russian ties were a threat to national security. So, because of that stain that he acquired due to her allegedly saying all of the stuff that she was saying, alleged, and therefore, how, question basically how could he be a reliable, dependable, trustworthy president if this was the case. He literally was like, you the reason why I lost the election. It went from a situation where he said that election was stolen from him to now it's a situation where Hillary is the reason why people didn't vote for him. Now I know that, at one point in time they used to get along seemingly just fine when Clinton was in office and she was just the first lady. But I personally think that because she has been so outspoken against him and his ability to lead the country, I think he kind of takes that to heart. Hillary Clinton can say the smallest little thing and it sets him off like crazy. Virginia Thomas, which is the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, she had some text messages going back and forth with Mark Meadow, and she was kind of basically putting the pressure on Mark to go ahead and overturn the 2020 elections. And I'm just here sitting to myself like, this what we do now? But you want me to tell you who I really feel sorry for? I feel sorry for her husband. Because if she could be brazen to do this in text messages, okay, not even sit down in person with a man, but in text messages telling him, dude, you've got to overturn these elections. Can you imagine what she'd been saying to her husband while they doing pillow talk? Like, just think about that for a second. Think about how those conversations look. What decisions has he possibly made that was not a result of his own logical thinking, but his wife's? We're moving on. Okay, so Jamaica. All right, so listen, beautiful country of Jamaica, Caribbean island, and it has been in the news a lot because of the three things that happened, really and truly, or the scenario, I should say. So Kate and William, my bad, Kate and Harry Locks. William will have a face. Anyways. Kate and William have been making their little Caribbean tours on behalf of the Queen, honey, the monarch. There was a petition in which 100 Jamaican professionals from all walks of life, lawyers, doctors, like teachers, the whole 9 yards, whatever the case is, businessmen, business owners, whatever you want to call them. Literally, they signed a petition to state that there's these two things that need to happen. Okay, there needs to be an apology for slavery and the cost that it has up until this day on any island that's been affected, which is like practically all of them, and not just island but countries around the world, as well as reparations. So these two things are hot topics everywhere, honey. Okay. So the current prime minister, he said, well, this is the time. And nobody really saw that coming. It was kind of a surprise. But I think because there was so much steam behind the protest that was going on in regards to their visit, I think it was just kind of like this is a great opportunity. He's coming here. It would look really bad if William and Kate decided to return home or continue to another country. So I think I got them where I want them. I'm going to ask for these two things. I'm going to ask them in their presence while they're touching Jamaican soil, and I'm going to get them to actually, commit to something. And the only thing, like I said, William committed to was the apology. He came out and he said, like, you know what, slavery should never have happened. It's such a sad thing that it did, and this and the third. He did not touch the issue of reparations, and he could not, because then he wouldn't have no home to come back to. Okay, his mama would have put him out. And you know how the queen do. Queen don't business. The queen puts the monarchy at the very top, and then everybody else down at the bottom. So I just say this to say, like, he couldn't say anything. He was he was mute. But do I think that we're going to get it? No, I do not. I honestly don't, because I feel like it would bankrupt Europe, okay? Like, not just Britain, but Europe in general. Because I feel like there's no way for them to account for all that money that, is owed. They're just not. Like a Jamaican individual, I don't know his name currently, but a Jamaican individual, he actually worked on calculating how much, reparations Jamaica is due. And it came up to approximately, I think, 9 billion euros. I don't see that happening. But I do think that regardless of the fact that it was just an apology, it's a step forward. The mere fact that he made that a public apology also may go towards Jamaica's request for reparations, because now they actually have a royal family member come forward and say, you know what? You guys should not have been treated the way you were treated. Slavery was wrong. It was unconstitutional. It was immoral. It's abhorrent. Like, I think that is what it was. So, Prime Minister, it's smart, You're smart. May I watch you? You smart. So, what Jamaica has intentions of doing is to become a republic, because the Queen is still the head of the household. Okay, she is still the head of the household. Like, they still have to lift their hats to her. They still have to pull out her chair when she come. They still have to kiss her ass, like day in and out. The Governor General, which is somebody that she appoints to every country under her guard, or her domain, I should say. Literally, he is employed or she is employed by the taxpayers of the country that they are in. And so Jamaican taxpayers have been paying this Governor General to sit down with this woman, or phone call this woman, or video call this woman and say, hey, the country is not doing all that well, or hey, the country is doing well. But it's not a situation where that information turns into, okay, so this is what I'm going to do to help the country. It's not that. She just wants to check out. You understand? Like, somebody who they just love sus. They don't have anything to offer, no good advice, no nothing, but them just love sus. That is what the situation is. So now you may be saying to yourself, okay, but don't Jamaica have independence? Yes, Jamaica has independence. But that does not mean that she has cut ties with Britain. No. Just to kind of simplify the situation. So Britain's spinal cord is integrated into Jamaica, and how Jamaica does business, how the education is run, the economy is run, the criminal justice system is run, the culture to a certain degree, just everything is operating off of the British spinal cord. So in becoming a republic, what Jamaicans are choosing to do is to rip that spinal cord out that you can trace back to Britain for all these hundreds of years, and it's to institute a new spinal cord that would provide for them truly severed ties. She would no longer be Mama Queen. She would no longer be regarded as the head of the household. Nobody would be reporting to her. She wouldn't have any say. This wouldn't be a part of her legacy no more. She ain't got no domain in this country. The country is fully, authentically, genuinely, okay, free and independent. So you might be saying to yourself, but why do it now? Well, Jamaica has shown a lot of interest in becoming a republic, I think, mostly due to the fact that Barbados recently became a republic. And they became a republic in November 2021. So it's just recently. That's, Rihanna's hometown and whatnot. And I think Jamaica was like, if they can do it, we can do it too. And there's not a lot of countries that have actually done it. Like, the first country, I believe, was Guyana. The second one was Trinidad and Tobago. And the third one, I think, was Dominica. Right? And so Barbados made the fourth country. And if Jamaica actually stays the course and goes ahead and becomes a republic, she would be the fifth. So I think, like, it's a good idea. My only concern is that I want for a lot to be put into place before it's a situation where, we become a republic. Because I would hate for it to be a case where we're now catching up to say this is what we're doing and this is how we're doing it. I don't want no catching up, nothing. I want for us to have things figured out. So by the time we actually say, hey, mom, I won't live here no more. I don't want to do nothing you told me to do, that you actually have a plan. You know what I'm saying? And yes, so that's where Jamaica is. I'll keep y'all informed. And Ukraine and cyber war. So people have been fighting back in different ways. I'm so happy to report this, but web analysts and developers and people of that sort who are really good with computers and coding and stuff like that, they have been going in on Russia. Okay, they really have. They have been breaking Russia's bones left, right, and center. And they have been doing what they can to facilitate the ease of getting aid and resources to Ukraine troops. And so whatever they've had to do to get that done, they have been doing that. They have been protecting those sources. They have been creating opportunities. They really have been stepping up their game. And they also have been doing offense, which is literally like going after Russia. They have been going after Russia's web services left, right, and center, to the point where it looks as if within a few weeks, Russia will probably have to withdraw from the internet completely. I think they're going to withdraw their troops. That's what I'm hoping for. Okay, that's really what I'm hoping for. But I think they will also have to find themselves removing themselves from the World Wide Web, because they got to lock down their IP addresses, right? So I am super happy about that. I think this is what needs to happen. It needs to be a team effort. You know what I'm saying? To stop a war. Putin. Listen, let me tell you something. Online. Putin is a mess. He is a catastrophe. He is not all here. I've been talking about his mental state, but we have been looking at, literally like the oligarchs, and we've been saying, oh yes, this is the third about them, right? And I had a discussion, so you can see my previous video about that. But we have been literally looking at Putin as, just basically zooming in on him as the individual. And we haven't been really focusing on his circle like that. But Putin's circle has been getting smaller, y'all. I told you a lot of people ain't with it. A lot of people who are Russian ain't with it. A lot of people who served, gladly served under Putin, right? They are not with it. His numbers are decreasing in terms of his circle. And I think paranoia is setting in, because some of these people he let go. And maybe he let go because they said, listen, I'm not in agreement with this. Actually, one of his members was over and out, and his name is Anatoly Chubayas. And he is a high profile advisor that literally Putin had as his right hand man. And he said, no, I ain't doing this. And he left. And there are a lot of people who have also decided to leave, a lot of generals. And he also lost a lot of people in the war too. And I don't think Putin has many people who are siding with his desire to capture Ukraine and go about it the way he has. And I think also he probably sold to his, his circle that this was something that was truly going to be beneficial to the country. But as time went on, these individuals saw that there was really no benefit in being starting this war with Ukraine. And so I feel like they've just kind of left him slowly. And some of them probably will stay because of fear, but I don't see them actually staying for the long haul. I think Putin is going to find himself as a lone shark in, not American, but worldwide waters, because he's not doing anything for the Russian people by starting this war in Ukraine. He's not doing anything for them. He's not serving the individuals who he says he has their best interest at heart. And I think a lot of the people who once surrounded him, they're understanding that concept. And so they're like, over and out, bye-bye. President of Ukraine has just informed us worldwide that Russia has been using phosphorus bombs. Now, phosphorus bombs are bombs or shells or, any incinerated tool of detonation or whatnot that contains phosphorus. And phosphorus, white phosphorus, is extremely dangerous. Now, when the whole when the actual detonation device, the bomb is dropped or is fired or whatever the case may be, immediately that phosphorus literally ignites the actual bomb. As soon as it makes contact with air, it bursts into flames. Now, when it comes in contact with human skin, it is deadly because of the fact that it will burn to the white bone. It will burn to the white meat. It will burn a human's flesh very easily. And it is not okay to use this, and it is a war crime because it should never be used on human beings. It should never be in a situation where it is dropped in areas that are considered residential. And so, for the fact that Putin has been using these types of bombs on the Ukrainian civilians and residents, I think is just, it's heartbreaking and it should never happen. But I also want to note that it has not been made illegal by, I guess, the War Commission. And it is utilized by, the US. It's utilized by them as well. And it's utilized by, a couple other nations. And it bewilders me, guys. And I know you probably heard me say this a lot, but I am bewildered as to why we are doing this to one another. Why are we treating each other in such a inhumane manner? I understand maybe Putin is looking at this like his honor is on the line. And what I mean by that is like he probably is so highly embarrassed at this point that he will do whatever he can to win the war. And it doesn't matter how he gets there, how he gets to the victory line. It doesn't matter what he does in the process. All that matters is that he gets there because his ego is crushed. Okay, I think that's where he's at right now, and he's getting very desperate. But to actually take you have the power and you have the authority to end this entire war that you started. But instead, what you're doing is you're endangering more lives. You're killing more individuals. Like phosphorus bombs, dropping them on residential areas. It is a war crime. It should not be used, and it should be outlawed. No nation should be able to use it. No nation. Like it's so disheartening to live in a world where people see other individuals as statistics, as a number, and not as a person. Like it bewilders me. So we're gonna go to Wendy Williams' husband, Kevin Hunter. I do not like Kevin Hunter wants to keep his name out there. Okay, he reminds me of a few people, and I'm just like, I'm not here for it like that. I really am not. But anyways, so Kevin Hunter basically, came out and he did this social media post, and he was basically saying that, I want to take accountability for stuff that it was I was doing and whatnot. And, I give accolades to Wendy, for the stuff that we accomplished and the stuff she accomplished on her own. But yeah, I definitely want, to acknowledge all of the success that we've had and stuff like that and rate it, yada, yada, yada. And in my mind, I'm like, leave the woman alone. Like, what is your problem? Why are you bringing yourself up? Like, you go put out a civil suit, right? On I think it's done by Mercury, the production company for the show, the Wendy Williams show, which you say you got fired from. And you should not have gotten fired from because it was done off of the basis of your marital status. And Wendy had filed for a divorce just a week prior. So, that's not legal or whatever the case is. So you're done suing them. Why are you talking about this? What is your problem? Like, why can't you just leave this right here, which is Wendy? And Wendy's in her safe space. Wendy's doing her thing. She's trying to get herself together, right? Why can't you just leave her alone? Why are you posting? Like Sharita, I think is she and Sharita are engaged. They already have a child together. So like, what is it that you want? You understand? I can't stand guys like this, y'all. I really can't. I can't stand guys who love the media attention, who are just saying things just to say things. They'll dig stuff up. It's like, no, you left that life behind, okay, when you decided to move on with this woman and have a child with her and this and the third and cheat in the first place. You decided to do that. Do not come around talking about Wendy and the stuff y'all accomplished. Like, we don't want to hear about you, Kevin. We don't. Well, listen, I am open to you coming on the show, but I'm just saying, I'm just saying, Kevin, keep it together, okay? Keep it together. Keep all of that to yourself. All right? You want to express yourself? Do a little home video and then delete the thing. You know what I'm saying? Talk to Sharita, pillow talk time. But we don't want to hear you. Anyways, so this is what he said. I'm going to read it word for word for y'all. So he says, when it comes to whatever narratives that might be spun out there regarding me, my entire family, I want to first and foremost say I truly respect all I was able to experience with my ex-wife and what we were able to accomplish. Then he goes on to say what she has clearly accomplished on her own and her own merit and what we were able to accomplish together. Then he vaguely addressed the whole split and said that, he literally apologized for like what he did. He says, when it comes on to my personal life and what the public has been able to see in real time, I take full accountability for my actions and understand how I might have hurt a lot of people, right? Then he goes on to say, then assumingly referencing Wendy, he says, I did hurt somebody. For that, I wish her nothing but the best and wellness and support. And it's like, how dare you? No, I want to hear all that. How dare you? You are one of the main things that caused Wendy to go in a downward spiral. Now you gonna talk about you wishing her the best of wellness and this, that, and the third? Like, seriously? Like, really? Come on now, Kevin. You know that's messed up. Anyways, it is so sad to announce, but a 14-year-old, and I do not have his name, but a 14-year-old actually dropped 400 feet from a roller coaster ride at an amusement park. And this happened at Icon Park in Orlando, Florida. The video exists online. And I was wondering, like, when I was reading the comments, I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is so sad. And then somebody mentioned that they watched the video and they described it. I was like, I can't watch it. And I would never post something like that here because I always think about the families and I always think to myself, like, can you imagine? There's nothing on the internet, like, is gone for forever. It's very difficult when you post something for it to kind of, like, disappear for good, like be forgotten. You could always unearth it. So I'm just imagining to myself, like, this is going to be something that goes around so much for so long. There will always be talks about, you remember that 14-year-old who died because he fell out of his seat at an amusement park on a roller coaster ride and plummeted to his death? You remember? No. Oh, I think I could find a video. I think that's just so sad. That's always going to be out there. I think that's just so sad. And it just breaks my heart for this family to imagine, like, that's your loss. And that's the sequence of events that led to his loss. Now, some people were speculating that he did not strap himself in for the ride. And let me just go down the possible scenarios. He did not strap himself in for the ride. I don't know the buckle situation that they have. I don't know, if they have like a bar that goes across. I don't know any of those details, y'all. I'm not somebody who does roller coaster rides because I know I cannot help myself if I land on the ground. I just can't. I am a water person. Like, I would do stuff that is water centered, but I can't do things like that. No, because I can't help myself. With water, I have a chance. Like, I'm a very good swimmer. But with stuff like this, how do I help myself? I can't. So I say that to say I don't know this ride like that. But say for instance, it's just a seatbelt closure. Now, the attendant that is there is supposed to ensure that your seatbelts are on, correctly fastened. Okay? They're supposed to do that before they start the ride. So even if he did not physically do it, right? It's the guy's responsibility or the woman's responsibility was the attendant at the time to do that for him. And you know what? This just reminds me of something. Remember, there was a father who had his child basically start falling out of his seat, and he had to hold him in. Y'all forget about that? And there was video of that. And he literally had to hold him for dear life. It's also so very sad is that a woman, I believe she's from Florida, she lost her son, and she was actually gunned down when visiting his grave for his 1 year anniversary. And I'm just like, seriously? Tragedy struck twice? Like, seriously? It bewilders me, y'all. It seriously bewilders me. I don't know what in the neighborhood is going on in this world. Y'all, I don't know what to tell you. But it's so much. It is so much. Anyways, I just want to, basically say thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments. I love hearing people's opinions. Come on. Let's get it together, y'all. Woo. All right. Anyways, so I will talk to you guys soon. Toodles. Bye.